Welcome back to Manchester Central. On the podium now, Sir Neil McIntosh, the returning officer who's making an announcement. I'll let you listen to what he's got to say.
Here to join me over on this side, behind the screen. I'll let them know the results before I come out and declare it here. Thank you very much.
Of the Greater Manchester local authorities to join him behind a darkened screen, it would appear, where he is going to announce the results to them. Those who are interested are moving forward en masse, perhaps trying to earwig, perhaps not. With me now is Paul Horrocks, who's the editor of the Manchester Evening News. Your chief political reporter has predicted a resounding no on his blog today, Paul.
I suspect that's going to be right, but the tension here is just amazing. I've never been to a referendum camp before. I've been plenty of local authority council elections, but there's a real different atmosphere here today. I think the turnout actually has been pretty good. I think to get over 50%, it would have been nice to get as far as Edinburgh had at 60-odd% when they had their referendum.
We're not far short though, 53.2 and over 60 in Tameside and Trafford. I think it's a mandate, isn't it?
It is a mandate, and yeah, I think there's a feeling. I've talked to a lot of people in the yes and no camp. There's a gloomy feeling for the yes campaign. I think it could be either 10-0 or 9-1. I think the issue will be
10-0.
I think it could be 10-0.
Even Manchester, Sir Richard Leese's own area.
I think so. That's not any inside knowledge. That's just gleaning from what other people have said to me and their sort of points of view. For us, it's a tense moment at the MEM because we've got a front page waiting to go. I've got to tell you, we've actually set up on the no result at the moment, so we're feeling that that's probably the way it'll go. But like you, we're now waiting for all these council leaders to come out from behind that screen, give us the result, and then we can get the special edition of the Manchester Evening News printing hopefully by 1 o'clock.
And where next for Manchester is if it is a no? Because the yes campaign's argument has always been you don't get the money, you don't get the investment, and possibly in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time we get congestion charge anyway because the government says you've got to have it. How do we get funding for what is a direly needed investment in our public transport if we don't get it this way?
Well, that's the crucial question now, isn't it? If it is a resounding no, then the next question is how do we get money for public transport infrastructure? And what I'm told is there is no plan B. There's no plan B. The money that was in the Transport Innovation Fund pot, the free money of £1.5 billion, goes away. It may well stay with the Department of Transport, but however, think about it, the Olympics are coming up, we're in a recession, the Treasury may well grab the money back and the money's off the table forever. We can't get permission to borrow the other £1.3 billion, which would have been paid back by the congestion charge revenues, so there is no plan B.
Will there be call for a Greater Manchester Mayor off the back of this? Because you can't get it through by referendum. You could get it through if you'd got somebody who had the power to put it through with a stroke of a pen.
I think it's a good debate to have, and I think it makes the argument for an elected mayor more valid. That will be a debate that will come up, I'm sure, during the next year. I think there's a lot of healing to be done after this because 3 councils, of course, Bury, Stockport and Trafford had already pledged that they were their council leaderships were against these proposals, so there's tension obviously between them and the other council leaders, and there's obviously been tension between some councils and the no campaign, and particularly Peel, and Peel's a big organisation, and some of those wounds, if you like, now need to be healed because Greater Manchester needs a cohesive local government. What we don't need are splits when national government sees that areas like Greater Manchester can't work together. How do we get over the city regional argument?
It is, by those who look in, quite a popular system that we have. I mean, they look at the way we run our local authorities and they work together as AGMA and other authorities in other regions, Birmingham in particular. I was down there for the Conservative Party conference. They look at us with envy and say this is a great way of doing it, but when it goes wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, you've only got to look at the airport and the way the airport is funded and the revenues that we get back from the airport. I'd say it's a good system. It looks like we're going to get the result.
Yeah, I'm going to cut you off there, Paul. Looks like we're about to get the results that we've been awaited for so long.
Central, Felcher. It's now my duty to declare the results of the Greater Manchester Transport referendum. Once I've declared the results, Lord Peter Smith, the chairman of the association, will say a few words. I'll declare the result first of all for Bolton. The electorate, 199,819, a turnout of 48.8%. The number of yes votes, 20,529. No votes, 76,910. Rejected votes, 167. Bury. an electorate of 140,441, a turnout of 57.4%. The number of yes votes, 16,563. No votes, 64,001. Rejected votes, 94. Manchester City Council, an electorate of 340,730, a turnout of 46.1%. The number of yes votes, 43,593. Number of no votes, 113,064. Rejected votes, 250. Oldham, an electorate of 159,328, a turnout of 54.4%. The number of yes votes, 17,571. Number of no votes, 68,884. Rejected votes, 141. Rochdale, an electorate of 155,830, a turnout of 50.8%. The number of yes votes, 17,333. Number of no votes, 61,686. Rejected votes, 118. Salford, an electorate of 164,982, a turnout of 57%. The number of yes votes, 14,603. The number of no votes, 79,326. Rejected votes, 105. Stockport, an electorate of 216,973, a turnout of 59%. The number of yes votes, 24,090. The number of no votes, 103,706. Rejected votes, 169. Tameside, an electorate of 164,062, a turnout of 60.7%. The number of yes votes, 16,323. Number of no votes, 83,105. 83,105. Rejected votes, 124. Trafford, an electorate of 163,677, a turnout of 63.6%. The number of yes votes, 20,445. The number of no votes, 83,568. 83,568. Rejected votes, 142. Wigan, an electorate of 235,043, a turnout of 45.3%. The number of yes votes, 27,810. The number of no votes, 78,565. Rejected votes, 132. And that completes the declaration of the results. Thank you.
The results of the Greater Manchester congestion charge TIF bid referendum is no. And it's not just no, it's a resounding no on a turnout on average of 53.2%. All 10 Greater Manchester boroughs by some considerable margin have said no to congestion charging in Greater Manchester. All the reaction as Channel M News continues.